My name is Dr. Frank A. Thompson. I'm having a wonderful time sharing with you this series on celebrative preaching. I'm just excited. It's just been fun. I'm having a great time. And so I've been talking to you about the celebrative preaching method. I told you that I experimented with this method for 35 years. And I want to talk about now the 6 principles of celebrative preaching. I'm going to list the 6. I will, in upcoming videos, talk about each principle individually by itself. So I just want to list them. And so the first is core belief. And the preacher must preach from their core belief. The next is what I call universal human experience. I'll talk some about that we have much more in common as human beings than what we often realize. Then I want to talk about experiencing the sermon through images and sense appeal. Then I want to talk about situation, complication, resolution, celebration. I've talked about it a little bit, but I will reinforce it again. Then I want to introduce you to the preaching worksheet and the behavioral purpose statement. And then finally, I want to talk and close with celebration and some rules of celebration. Now, I want you for the next 6 weeks to really lock in and get with me on these. I think that, I'm really moving now into the meat of what I want to share with you. And I'm getting ready to help you with some practical tips that will help improve your preaching. I want you to know that for 35 years I've been experimenting with these principles. There are probably more because this is a living and a dynamic method. But I have discovered that when a preacher has a method, it adds more consistency to their preaching. You know what else a method does? It shortens your preparation time, because when you're not consistent in method, you're all over the place. You're looking here, you're looking there. A method gives you a consistency in your preparation time. And method also gives you consistency in your preaching. For those of you all who live in America, you know that baseball is a sport that we play. And in baseball, there's something called a batting average. A good hitter bats 300. That means every 10 times they bat, they make 7 outs. In preaching, what's more important is your batting average than your home runs. In other words, the consistency, the week-by-week consistency of the word that you deliver to people. I left my first church after 18 years, and one of the most stunning statements that was said to me, I'll never forget it. One person said to me, in 18 years, I never heard a bad sermon. That meant to me that I was consistent. Not that every sermon was a great sermon. That's not what the person said. The person said they never heard a bad sermon, which means I was consistent in my method, consistent. And so that's what will happen to your preaching. Let me take you now through these 6 principles of celebrative preaching. And I remind you again, as I always do, we have a Periscope call, 8 o'clock a.m. Mondays. Secondly, we also offer a spiritual vitamin on SoundCloud. Every Monday, we upload another version of this series, Preaching and Celebration. And on Friday, we upload Living Your Passion series. Thank you so much. I'm having such a wonderful time. Share this with your friends. Subscribe to us on all these channels. God bless you. Thank you so much. And I will now unfold the 6 principles of celebrative preaching. God bless you, and I'll see you next week.